Hello everyone and welcome back to another week of UDL Season 4. Now I know what I said in the Final Fantasy video. I know I said I was only going to be using this model for that. But I'm not really feeling like face cam today. Not feeling that great. So we're going to use the model for this. It's my model. I'll do what I want with it, okay? But this week we are up against Impala. I think that's how you say the name. Coach of the Impalas Ballas, which has a very familiar core from Reg F. Yeah, I think it is Reg F. No, I think this is this Reg G? I think this is very similar to Reg G because Reg F had the the legendaries, but Reg G didn't. So this is very similar to Reg F in that you have Dragonite, you have Sneasler. That's it. That is the biggest threat that I see when looking at this team. It is very scary. So I can't discount it. We have the Clef Key for support. In our other draft league series that we do, we have seen how good a Clef Key supportive option can be. We have Iron Jugulus for fast tailwind with access to booster energy, Comfey for priority healing for its teammates. Slacking and Coughing are a duo that you can kind of not expect to show up to a match because of just you need to bring Coughing to do it, but you can't discount it because there is a chance that it will show up, and I am not really prepared for that, unfortunately. I am going into this match assuming that the 6 are going to be Dragonite, Sneasler, Klefki, Iron Jugulus, and Typhlosion. Typhlosion, actually, I might even switch out for Lucario. But I just don't see a duo of Slacking and Coughing coming to this matchup. I'm pretty sure Oshawott they drafted because they like Oshawott. And Kingdra can actually be a scary rain mode with Klefki because Klefki gets access to Rain Dance. But what's our plan, right? Well, looking at the matchup. Ooh, I just realized you can't see my speeds with me here. We have a different problem than we normally do. Normally we have the problem where you can't see what's up above in the top right. But now you can't see what's down below. I'll just move. No. This is another team that is actually on average faster than us. In fact, they are 1 point on average faster than us. So my goal of drafting a fast team that doesn't need Tailwind, my hopes were shattered, unfortunately, as I kind of forgot that Reg F is a lot faster than Reg H. Fancy that. But with that little blunder aside, we have some very interesting speed tiers that I'm not too worried about this week because of a simple problem of I'm not bringing Tailwind, before you ask. No, I am not bringing Tailwind into a team that has set up Dragonite and Sneasler on it. That feels like it is just doesn't provide enough offensive pressure, and if I run Braviary with the Tailwind, I'd need to have it with a Covert Cloak so that it doesn't get hit by Fake Out and the status moves from the Sneasler. And I just feel like that is too big of a waste when I could have the Covert Cloak on something else, which we do have Covert Cloak this week. I will admit that. But it's not for Fake Out. It's for the move of Dire Claw. Oh, Dire Claw, you are a pain to deal with in prep. So, the goal is to somehow be bulkier than this team can handle. And how are we going to do that? Well, if we look at their type breakdown, they actually are very well rounded. A lot of the teams in this league are very well rounded in their type breakdown. We do have a bit of a weakness to Fairy, but a ton of resists. A bit of a weakness to Ground with a bunch of immunities. And that's basically it. Everything else is just maybe 1 or 2 overlapping weaknesses. So how are we going to deal with this? Well, as I mentioned, Covert Cloak was my first thought. And with Covert Cloak, I think Milotic can be a pretty decent wall. We are going with max bulk. Well, almost max bulk on the special physical defense side with T52 and max and a bold nature with 156 HP and 76 special attack, 20, and then yada yada yada. We went with Terra Electric for our defensive Terra because while we are immune to Dire Claw shenanigans, we aren't immune to Prankster Thunderwave from the Clef Key. And while that does mean we are now weak to Earth ground move coverage, I am hopefully confident that Milotic can take care of it. This I was originally Terra Psychic on Milotic with Terra Blast instead of Icy Wind, but I kind of realized that I don't really want to be Terraing Milotic that much. We are only Terra Electric for if we have to deal with Klefki. Because part of it is I do want to actually use Terra on Ogerpon this week. I know you haven't gotten to use it yet. Well, we used it in week 1, at the end of week 1, in the last turn of week 1. But I do want to actually use Ogerpon more offensively, rather than just using it as a Terra to stop me from dying. And we have competitive because although they don't have any immediate ways of doing, what's it called? Stat drops, competitive is just nice to have, just in case they do have a strategy that involves stat drops. Next up, we have Stantler making its, another week in a row where it shows up. We're not that bulky this week on Stantler. Instead, we are going to be outspeeding, what are we out? That's for it. 146 allows us to outspeed Dragonite. That's what it's for. Because Stantler is going to be our game 1 lead. Because I need to figure out right away if this Dragonite is Inner Focus or Inner Focus. Yeah, if it's Inner Focus or Multiscale. I completely blanked there. I'm like, oh wait, does Inner Focus prevent Intimidate? No, it does. It definitely does. Don't trust me for your game knowledge. I will be wrong. But so we do need to figure out what type of Dragonite this is. Is it going to be setup Dragonite with Multiscale, or is it going to be Intimidate immune Dragonite? Why is my model freaking out with the eyes? I am not blinking this much in real life, I swear. But we're finally using Stantler's new signature move with Side Shield Bash. I don't think I've used this a single time across both seasons where I've drafted Stantler, because there's never really a reason to use it. However, we are facing down a Sneasler and a team with a lot of physical attackers, so being able to raise my defense by 1 stage would be nice, I think. As well as doing decent damage into Stantler. I'm not Stantler, into Sneasler. I'd rather hope that Stantler doesn't take a lot of damage. That would be bad. Next, we have Ogerpon with Ivy Cudgel, Play Rough, Stomping Tantrum, Spiky Shield, Max Speed, Max Attack. Very simple Ogerpon set. We have no grass coverage this week because we don't really need it. Only Pokemon that we'd even be hitting for grass coverage is Oshawott. So there's no reason for Horn Leech this week. I mean, while healing is nice, we are most likely not getting it off with like the 7 resistances that they have. So we're not going to be getting any good healing off of it. Stomping Tantrum is for the coughing. It's for the Sneasler. It is for the Lucario. Although Ivy Cudgel already handles that pretty nicely anyway. It's also for the Typhlosion. Although I don't expect Typhlosion to show up, but it is possible. Yep, keep doing that. Next up, we have Iron Treads with a booster energy and max speed. We won't be outspeeding the Sneasler once it gets its unburden boost. However, We do have Terra Ghost to be immune to the close combats coming our way. We are high horsepower, of course, for our ground stab. Ice Spinner for the Dragonite. Iron Head for comfy and protect. Next up, we have Raikou with a choice specs with Terra Fairy, Terra Blast, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Volt Switch with just enough speed to outspeed, is it? Yeah, it is max speed Iron Jugulus if it doesn't run a booster energy into speed. But I don't know why it wouldn't. So, actually, if it's going to be doing that, let's lower this speed to 167, I think, is the next one. Or outspeed Comfey, so 168. Do 168 to just outspeed Comfey. And put the rest into defense. That's probably what we're gonna do. We also have Terra Inner Focus, so we can't be flinched. And reason for running Choice Specs Raikou this week, despite how I'd say last week I was really hindered by the fact that I was Choice Specs Raikou, there is absolutely zero resistances to electric moves on my opponent's team. So, Choice Specs Thunderbolt is absolutely free for Raikou to do. Now granted, off base 115 special attack that isn't going to be hitting the hardest even with specs. However, Raikou's kind of just a lead, right? I'll be leading this right next to the Stantler in game 1, I think. Or, yeah, I think we could do that. Get it right next to Stantler. We figure out what the Dragonite set is and offer offense with the Raikou. Last up, I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't really decide on a last for this week because nothing really looked good here. Gardevoir is beaten by Sneasler in a pretty bad way. The Dire Claw really messes up Gardevoir. Crocodile, I don't really want to be running both Crocodile and Iron Treads on the same team this week, especially with two different fighting types on my opponent's team that can take advantage of either one of them. And I already have Intimidate covered with the Stantler. Now you might be wondering, why would I run Stantler then next to the Iron Treads? Well, the reason for that, like I said, I do need at least one Intimidate. And I feel like Stantler has a better matchup because it can be bulkier thanks to Eviolite than the Crocodile. Like I mentioned in earlier, Braviary didn't look too good to me here because although I do need Tailwind for this matchup on paper, with how much offense my opponent is threatening with just the combo of Dragonite and Sneasler, I don't think I can afford to ever use like Braviary on a lead, even though Braviary on paper is good into the Sneasler. Because I want to be able to take out Sneasler without having it be forced to Terra, because I am really worried about a Sneasler Terra this week. So I'm hoping that Stantler is able to get it with Psyshield Bash, if that makes sense, right? If we can take the foothold in game 1, because if I lead Braviary, my opponent is either going to switch out Sneasler or fake out Braviary and kill it with Dragonite. Because Dragonite Sneasler lead looks very free for my opponent, and I don't really have ways to handle that with Braviary. Which is why we have no Braviary. Grookey, I thought about Fake Out and giving myself some grassy terrain healing for my teammates. However, unlike Sentret, Grookey is very much going to sit on the field. Because at least with Sentret, I am able to use Follow Me to get it off the field. However, if my opponent so wishes, they could just leave Grookey on the field because, like I mentioned, 7 grass resists. I can't do anything into my opponent with Grookey offensively. So even though Grookey is nice for fake out in grassy terrain. My opponent is not threatened by it in the slightest, so it's going to be a sitting duck on the field. My opponent can just keep attacking whatsoever next to it. Can't do it at all. Then we had the... what was it? What else was I looking at for this matchup? Hitmonlee. Yes, Hitmonlee. So I was looking at all my Pokemon for this matchup because each one was potentially very interesting. And I just decided against Hitmonlee due to one simple reason. Sneasler's faster than it, if you didn't know. Like, look at that speed difference, 87 versus 120. Which means I'll never have the faster fake out. Ever. And Hitmonlee is really only going to get going once he gets that fake out going. But look at the amount of fighting resists on my opponent's team. Both Sneasler and Dragonite resist it, and Dragonite could be running Inner Focus, so that makes the Hitmonlee even less appealing. And it's part of why I chose Stantler instead, because with Intimidate, I could figure out if it's Inner Focus immediately. If I ran Hitmonlee instead, I'd have to waste turn 1 figuring out if it's Inner Focus, and I don't want to do that against this type of team. And like I said, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resistances, with one of them being an immunity. And while Hitmonlee does get decent coverage moves, it's too frail for this, I think. It'll die to Typhlosion Scarf before it's even able to activate its Unburden. It'll die to a Sneasler Acrobatics. It'll die to a Dragonite, I don't know, the Dragon Claw twice, or even just Dragon Dance once and then Dragon Claw. So Hitmonlee doesn't look too good. So with all of those like potential options for a 6th slot just not looking too good for the matchups that I need them to do, I decided to go with Sentret just because Follow Me could save me a game if I need to. That's really the only reason why Sentret is here. Even though what was I saying? Even though first would be incredible for a game 1 lead, I do not plan on leading Sentret in game 1 because I don't exactly need to know my opponent's items. They're all Pokemon that I fairly know what kind of item they're going to be wanting. Buffkey is probably going to be Covert Cloak or Light Clay, depending on if they're expecting Fake Out. The Dragonite is probably some sort of berry, maybe Lumberry to avoid getting burned. The Sneasler is going to be Focus Sash, most likely. And I can kind of figure out this as well from just Intimidate. Like I said, we'll be able to figure out the Dragonite set. We'll be able to figure out if the Sneasler is Clear Amulet. Like, we just gain a lot of info from Intimidate already, so Frisk isn't too useful. However, since none of my other Pokemon look that great for this matchup, I figured I might as well throw it on just because Follow Me might be clutching like Game 3. Anyways, I thank you all for watching. I know this is a little weird with having the VTuber model here instead of my face cam, but I thank you all for watching, and I will see you when we get into the match. Peace. Here we are for the match, and we see Kingdra. Okay, so this is gonna be rain mode. It's gonna be rain mode. I think I still lead off with the idea. We're gonna do those two in the back. Okay, are you okay, so you are multi-scale. You are multi-scale. Okay. Dragon Dance up. Just gonna keep doing this. And now we're gonna just do this, yeah, because Floral Healing is gonna heal up Dragonite. That does not kill me. It's locked into Outrage. We're gonna Terra Fairy Dragon, the Raikou here. Okay, so it is Lumberry. We get the paralysis? No, we don't get the paralysis. I'm gonna switch in Milotic. Yeah, Floral Healing doesn't work for Protect. We're just gonna Icy Wind, because this combination should... Oh, it's got Iron Head! Okay, that changes things. We're gonna Protect here, see what Dragonite wants to do. Outrages into... Dang. Multi-scale is not broken now. Well, that's not the worst outcome. A Draining Kiss. Reflect. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Well, yeah, okay, we don't die. Get the paralysis on Comfey, which is a little annoying because it dies here. Yeah. Sneasler comes in. Just gonna double Protect here. See what they want to do. We're gonna need the Scout here. Okay. Well, this didn't go quite to plan. Because Stantler will lose the 1v1 to Klefki, I think. But this went way better than I thought it would. In all honesty. Yeah, okay, so it's Terra Stellar. Okay. Okay. What if I lead... Dragonite still did so much. What if I lead Iron Tread's Iron Tread's Raikou and did you and you? Honestly, I think I Volt Switch. I feel like Kingdra protects here, while Iron Jugulus goes for a Terra Grass, okay. Sneasler now comes in. Terra Ghost, Ice Spinner, and Spiky Shield. Now we high horsepower. Do we actually? Yeah, I think we do. We do this and we switch into Milotic. It's Sash. Okay. Is it Specs Kingdra? Wait. That's a slow Sneasler. That is a slow Sneasler. Oh, we missed the high horsepower! That's fine for us, honestly. Well, that does... It is a little annoying, but Sneasler, is able to resist that. We are still good here. We are faster than Sneasler on Iron Treads. That is good to know. Walking into Outrage, that makes sense. Whoops, I didn't mean to switch to V-Point. Okay. Okay, that was a little weird. I couldn't confirm game free in the game. I think we just do that lead again. That lead is able to handle everything, and I think we just bring the same two again. I think, right off the bat, we kill Klefki, I think. Well, we try to kill Klefki anyway. And Dragonite's not going to take much from that because of multi-scale. And we're going to resist that Outrage. In comes you. And we are locked in. You can't... Oh, right, because that's going to... Oh, we get the paralysis. So, it's not going to be confused. Yep. We're honestly going to Terra Fairy. Just to survive an Outrage again. We're going to break. And it kills itself in confusion. Last is Sneasler, who we know we outspeed on both Pokemon. Because Sneasler has not yet... Actually, hold on. Let's play this smart here. Switch into Ogerpon. Well, that could have gone better. Draining Kiss does not enough. That we are not going to get hit anything by Dire Claw, and we're going to kill Scald, and that's GG. And that is simply GG. It actually lives this turn, which is actually insane. Oh no, it doesn't. I'll grab the replays. That went... Iron Treads was way more important for this fight than I realized. Going into game 1, I thought, Iron Treads is gonna be alright. But, Iron Treads single-handedly saved my game. Single-handedly saved my game plan. Being faster than the Sneasler was honestly way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why I was faster than Sneasler. Maybe I was doing my math wrong, but Unburdened Sneasler should have been faster than me. 189? Yeah, it should have been faster than me. Maybe it wasn't max speed. Or maybe they forgot their ability and was Poison Touch instead of Unburden? Well, no, Poison Touch is the hidden ability, isn't it? I don't really know. But anyways, I thank you all for watching. I know it's a little weird having the VTuber model instead of the face cam for this, even though I said I was going to do it for Final Fantasy only, but let's ignore that right now. But I thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.